Like I was born in West Bengal, then brought up in Punjab. Then during that period, I never ate Odia food. What
Okay.
people know me for, like, so my roots are from Odisha, but I was never exposed to Odia food on my early stages of my life. Food. So I think people started appreciating that when I cook, and they said, "Oh, it tastes good." So that motivated me, and I used to try out some these fast food, which like the desi chow mein or desi noodles at home. So I used to observe these fast food center guys how they're cooking, and try to replicate it back home. And so people liked it. Oh, you made nice this chow mein or noodles. So I was, oh, I can make. And I have to bring out the food that comes from Odisha, not known to a lot of people. Like, it's not that I want to popularize already popular food.
Avinash Patnaik, sir, welcome to the Asterisk Show.
Thank
Sir,
you.
we've been very grateful inviting you in this show, sir. How are you doing, sir, in life after
I'm doing good.
MasterChef?
I'm doing good, and thanks for inviting me to your show.
Sir, it's a pleasure, sir.
And it will be my first podcast, if I
I
would
hope
not
it will be a
wrong.
great one.
I hope so. And looking forward to the questions and interaction, whatever. And I'm doing good.
Sir, how has your life changed after MasterChef, or it's the same only?
Changed in a sense. More people recognize you, in terms of like random people recognizing you, and
A bit of fame.
yeah, a bit of I would say, yeah, fame or popularity, whatever you categorize it into. Yeah, people recognize you. That's what I would term it as. But yeah, that is the only change I find. People appreciate you for your work, what you have done. And other than that, my life is quite normal. What I was doing earlier, I'm doing the same thing,
Okay.
and quite content as earlier. So yeah.
Sir, while researching about you, I found out that you are pursuing PhD right
Yes,
now,
yes.
like in horticulture or something.
Yeah, it's in horticulture, and the specialization is in floriculture and landscape gardening.
Sir, for me, this is a very unique subject to do a PhD on. What was your motivation regarding choosing this subject, and what is this subject is all about? Because I don't think so that most of the people know a lot about horticulture.
Yeah, I believe so, because I think when I came into the platform where I represented the department where I come from, it was quite new thing for people. But if I'm doing my PhD, my base or my background is around it. So basically, it's an agriculture, like it's part of an agriculture stream. So I did my graduation in agriculture, which is for 4 years, and after that I did my masters in horticulture. So I have to pick one subject in which I want to do my specialization in. So I chose horticulture, which is around study of fruit, vegetables, flowers, spices. So out of that, I chose floriculture, which is study of flowers, and
Flowers.
landscape gardening. So yeah. So my specialization is basically around.
You've also added a
flowers.
bit of those flowers thing into your food and kitchen
Yes,
also.
yes.
Sir, the first episode when I saw of yours, you made that with Aparajita flower.
Right,
You made
yeah.
that thing. Sir, it's more than food. It was also represented in a very beautiful way.
Yeah.
From where did you learn all these things about?
I think that is a self.
I mean, decorating the food and its essence and all that. Sir.
That's a self-learning process. I would say, like, overnight you like can't learn things. So it was a gradual process when I started learning this whole thing of creating food, and how to plate it on the table. So that's how it's all started. And basically, I did my when I was very young, I had a lot of interest in art and painting. So when I was in fifth standard, I started learning fine arts, and that is how I think I have a bit of sense of aesthetics or color, texture since my childhood. And so I've done also my like diploma in fine arts when I
Okay.
was in my school. And so I think that is what helped me to, like, food is an art, like that's you just put in a plate and how to plate it, how to put it in a pattern, what colors go well on the plate. So usually people say, na, like you eat first with your eyes
Yeah.
before through your palates. So that's how it all started for me.
How did MasterChef came into your life? Like you mentioned that you left your government job in agricultural department.
Yes, yes.
Have you joined or you have
No,
left
I
it
have
completely?
resigned. I have resigned
Okay.
it completely. So MasterChef, it was never in my plan, frankly speaking. It just, I think I auditioned once because of one person. I think you have interviewed with him earlier. So Avinash was the person who actually asked me to go for
Okay.
the audition. So it's the same year we auditioned, but I was never into going for a reality show or doing things. But then I was not selected even for the further rounds.
Okay.
So
When was this?
this was same year 2019.
Okay.
When the season 6 was there. So and I was like, I got that this is not the place where like I belong to. I'm happy doing my researching into my writing my articles, blogs. This is my world. So the reality show and TV show is not my cup of tea. But then this year, when in 2023, like all thing happened, and I got an opportunity. People who know me since long, they ask me, why don't you go for a platform where people will know your work, what you're working on, these indigenous food, flowers, these recipes which are not known to people. So it was like basically it was push of my friends, my PhD guide. They all motivated me, and then
They were able to see your talent.
yeah, that's how I think. Lot many people have pushed me, and their belief on me made me bring on this platform. It was not my vision,
Okay.
which like happened or I planned it for.
How did cooking entered your life from, because what you mentioned that you are completely from very creative and you were interested in agriculture and all that stuff. How did cooking entered your life?
Cooking is something. See, I was a great foodie. My father was in Air Force.
Okay.
So we used to travel different places and states. So my palate was very versatile. I had I was born in West Bengal, then brought up in Punjab. Then during that period, I never ate Odia food. What
Okay.
people know me for, like, so my roots are from Odisha, but I was never exposed to Odia food on my early stages of my life. So that time what happened is I used to eat a lot of different food from different culture. We have Bada Khana, we had people from different states staying at the same place. So there I got exposed to different kind of food. And I have always had instinct, like I need good food. I don't need good clothes or any accessories, I need good food. So my mom, she is not that much keen of, like, she wants to cook all the time, or she's like, okay, I'm not feeling well, or like get something from outside, or if you want to eat something good, make it by yourself.
Okay.
She's good with Odia dishes and things, but as you are growing as a kid or as an adult, you feel like trying out different food, different cuisine. So that's how my exploration started, and and I think I was in 10th standard. My mom, she went to her father's place, and she said that now you both father and son take care of your place. Now I'm going to my own place to take some rest. So during that period, I think for 1 month, I tried to manage things, and I did a lot of blunders. I
Started learning how to cook.
Yeah, no, yeah, she told me few tricks and tips that you need to take care of, and during that I did a lot of blunders, and that's how I learned. Okay, not an expertise in cooking, but I know the basics by that time. But earlier, I remember when my parents used to go out, or they are going somewhere, I call my friend, let's come over to my place, I'll cook something and we'll have food. So I think people started appreciating that when I cook, and they said, oh, it tastes good. So that motivated me. and I used to try out some these fast food, which like the desi chow mein or desi noodles at home. So I used to observe these fast food center guys how they're cooking and try to replicate it back home. And so people liked it. Oh, you made nice this chow mein or noodles. So I was, oh, I can make good chow mein like a vendor, street vendor. So that's how I got motivated, and it all started.
You mentioned that you were very much into foods of different regions and different cultures. How did you became famous because of MasterChef, because of your Odia representation?
Yeah.
You represented Odia food in a very beautiful way. So how did this Odia food and obsession with that came into your life? Because you've grown up somewhere else and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's basically my roots are from Odisha. Thing is that when you stay outside Odisha, Odia food is more about seasonal vegetables, fruits, and various festivals which falls accordingly. Few dishes comes out. So when you are staying outside, like a place where is Punjab or South India or any other places, you don't have exposure to all these vegetables or regional food in your exposure. So when I came back, my father took a VRS retirement and we came back to Odisha. Then I started getting interested. I love having pitha as a kid. Okay. So all kind of Odia food with so many veggies. So it was a like though it's my root, but I find, okay, there's something different which I never consumed before. So
Okay.
it became very interesting for me that, okay, so I start loving my own food, which is basically my roots are there from. And interestingly, I think when people who know me, they know me because as a foodie or person who always love food, talks about food, or his life revolves around food. So that's how they're like eating good food more, not into cooking. So, but then gradually these things, when I started documenting, I felt Odia food is not that well documented. The stories behind these regional food, these
Not well known to
ingredients,
people.
yeah, that are known also, but not well documented, not written well, not represented well. So what happened? People from other states, they don't get an identity of Odia food, what it is. They believe, okay, it's from maybe the food of West Bengal or the East is almost similar. But they have their own, they are similar in a way, but they are quite different with their spices and things. So I think I felt it need to be made loud and clear somewhere. So I started writing about it. I started styling and doing the food photography so that people, it will be eye appealing to them. At the same point of time, it should be representing the food where it comes from. It should not be like on a ceramic plate or something. It should be looking as authenticate as it has been cooked.
It's a very honest vision, to represent your own regional food to a larger audience.
Yes, yes.
So, I mean, I have this question because my mother is a very good cook. So,
All mothers are.
for all those young kids or, 20, 21-year kids who are maybe interested a lot in cooking,
Right.
what could be their career opportunities above them? Because I don't think that a lot of people know if you become a good chef, what after that?
Yes, one thing I would say, people only think if you cook good food, then you can only be a chef. That's a very, like the approach is very narrow when it comes to food. Like if people like me who go to a reality show, there you go to MasterChef, at the end of the day people think you will open a restaurant or you will be cooking somewhere. So the food industry has a lot of, I would say, scope, and it's very versatile and very wide in a way. Like you could be a food researcher, you you can be a particular specialist in particular food genre. You could be a food stylist, you could be a food photographer. So these scopes are wide. It's not only limited within kitchen. So beyond kitchen also you have a lot of scopes. So I would say if you need to first find out what interests you more. Whether you are passionate about cooking or you are passionate about styling it, Or in terms of even cooking, there are different types of cuisine, different people are into bakery, people are into making savory food, there are dessert experts. So you need to find out first what you like believe in or what you like to do most, and then it will be easy for you to find out the best path for you. So, and when I started, I think it was never a like when it was in social media also, people never had an idea what you're doing, and I was not doing things what usually the content creators do.
Okay.
Mostly they go to like the bloggers, food bloggers, they go to different restaurants, they don't have to cook, you have to just go and visit and eat. I've done that also. So I've experienced each and every part as a food blogger or as a a photographer or a stylist. I found out that okay, this is what excites me is documenting these rare ingredients, because it's a vast field. It's a never-ending process. I used to think when I started, okay, I'll do hundreds of these ingredients, make recipes out of it, and it will be done one day. But while I was doing it, I realized it's a never-ending process. Even like till your last breath, you will be learning and experiencing new things.
You know, how what are the things you really experienced in MasterChef? And one question I need to know that because it's the India's only cooking show is the MasterChef.
Yes.
What they look in a cook, like what are the things they really look in a cook for, in going forward and all those things, and what are the changes is brought you as a person and also in your skill set?
I think one thing what I realized is what I told earlier to you. You need to first see what's your skill, your strength, because you need to know everything first of all, and then you have to find your own path so that you have your own individual identity. There will be 10 other people or 100 other people who are going for these shows, but what makes you different and your vision towards food. And there is no, I feel there is no as such any trick or any formula or anything that you have to do. I believe you need to know everything, and you have to showcase your skill. And if the chefs over there, they like your food, because you need to tell why you created this, how you created this, and finally the taste, because you have it should be good to your palate no matter what. So I think that is one thing in this show is more important too. You have to be an individual person. You have to clear about your own strength, why you are going, because your vision is important. Because my vision was very clear that if I'm going to this show, I'm representing my state, and I have to bring out the food that comes from Odisha, not known to a lot of people. Like, it's not that I want to popularize already popular food. I want to bring out those food which has never saw a light.
Truly traditional and cultural.
Yes,
foods.
like traditional or now going to be lost, or people are not being aware of. So that's how it was. And in terms of change, I would say when you are a home cook, you have time limits. You don't have time limits. You can cook as per your convenience. You don't have timers on. You can experiment whatever. If things goes wrong, you can rectify. But during these shows, you have one take, and there, like, whatever is done is done. You can't make any changes, or so that one thing, I think that gave me confidence, and that gave me a lot of I think that is what confidence. Like, I used to fear, like, before going to the show, whether I would be going to complete the dish within 1 year, because 1 hour, because you have plating, you have to cook, you have to chop, you have to style it accordingly, you have to choose your plates, you have different techniques to show. So there's many things you have to prove yourself within that 1 hour. So I had before going to the show, I have this inhibitions or fear in my mind or anxiety, like how could I manage all this thing all together. and at the same point of time you have cameras in front of you. My mother used to tell me, if you are 2 to 3 people in kitchen, you get irritated, like why you're disturbing me, and how you will manage if you go to a show where you have cameras and people around you. I said, I'll see whether I can manage my like anger or whatever is there. But yeah, that's an experience, and that change you as an individual, how you see things, the perspective.
You mentioned so many genres in cooking itself. What's your genre? Like, is it plating or crafting, taste? What?
I think I love documenting and learning things. So in terms of the genre, I would say I'm trying to experience and learn different kind of skills, and out of that I feel the food styling and photography is something which I always love to do. Along with that, the thing which I never get bored, I feel is documenting these rare ingredients, sourcing them from different places, and making some recipes out of it. So within this community before MasterChef, there are people from different states, parts of India. They used to send me ingredients which is not available in Odisha.
Okay.
So and they are so kind to me that they never charge me for these things. They send me from various parts which are far off from rural areas where connectivity of your fast courier services are not there. So they come down and send me ingredients like kokum, your even fresh green pepper, your peppercorns, and even kokum that is found mostly in Maharashtra. So these are the things that excite me, that the community or the people I'm getting connected to because of food. We exchange germplasms of plants. They send me some of these seeds or ingredients. I send them some planting materials to them. So I think this whole process of this food journey, I would not restrict within cooking or kitchen. It is beyond that. They send me these planting material, I plant them in my garden, and when they grow, I see how it's growing. It's not available in Odisha, so it's quite interesting to see these ingredients, how they evolve in your kitchen.
It's basically your passion, the whole.
Yes. I because my education is in agriculture, so that's how it's both amalgamation of my passion and my profession together, and so that makes me it keep interesting all the time. You are learning. Even as per your educational background, and also you're keeping your passion alive. So that goes hand in hand for me.
You know, in 2019 you were rejected, and this time you went to the top 12, I suppose. So what was the difference in 2019 and 2023?
In terms of show, or in terms of me as a person?
You as a person.
My profile has been same in 2019 and even in 2023. That time also I left my job. I was exploring things. This time also the same. Only difference was my hair. That time I had short hair,
okay.
And this time I had long hair. So that is the only difference. And I think somewhere as a person I'm not introvert, but I'm extrovert to certain kind of people with so that way it was very different for me to I can't open up in spontaneously in front of unknown people, so that was a different thing. After COVID, I traveled first time to a longer distance for giving the audition to Kolkata. You're feeling anxious after 2 years I didn't travel. I used to do a lot of solo traveling before COVID and when I was working. And after so many years, you're going out of your comfort zone to do something beyond that. So yeah, it was different in a way because I was going to next after one audition process to another audition process. So in 2019, I just got stopped at the first process itself. So I think that time I was talking less also. What answers were asked to me, I was just replying yes, no. I was not giving elaborate answers about like, okay, I have a page and thing. So you have interviews, you have cooking rounds, you take your food.
Also, I saw that episode when you were eliminated, the last episode. So be comfortable not to answer this question also, but how it feels like, because it's in a show like that, one mistake can just complete your chapter you have achieved in this. How it feels like to be in that hustle.
I never felt it that way because see, lot of people who went to the show, they had a vision, okay, we'll go to MasterChef, we'll win the title. For me, it was never about winning the title. It was about the process. It was always about what I'm learning. I felt so glad that I came that far also. I didn't went with a vision, okay, I was always skeptical whether I would be like selected or not. I never followed any MasterChef previous seasons, except I think the previous season because two of them who represent the state, I know them personally. So that I was following their journey. I was not seeing how the format was going. So when I came to this show and we had these challenges, I was like the dumb kid in that class. Okay, these are all out of syllabus or I didn't know these answers. So other people were aware of it because some of them tried 6-7 times they got for this show. And for me it was never a plan. It just happened. And so I never had that vision of getting rejected or I was just doing my work. I was just in the moment of what I was going and I was just enjoying the process. So I was never being emotional about, okay, I missed out something.
Okay. That's a very...
Because I was privileged, like out of so many contestants around the country, I was there. And for me, seeing that vision, instead of feeling, okay, you got rejected, you have to see that you competed or you were along with so many other people and you came this far. So that's an achievement in itself. So
you are already you are very much associated with the agricultural thing. So I would ask you this question about the conservation of both nature, and I have read about many flowers and that they are getting endangered because of a lot of ways. What's your take on that?
I think yes, being as not as an agriculture student, even the very thought process is going in my mind since few years, and that is the only reason, as I told you earlier, I send planting material to other states, they send me. So that's how we are trying to conserve the plants which are getting extinct also, by preserving the germ.
Is there any reason why many flowers and plants are getting endangered?
That is what, like if you don't know their importance, what you will do? You will cut them off, you will knowingly or unknowingly throw them off in your garden. So making aware about these ingredients or these recipes is to tell the stories or the mythological story behind this food, so that a kid or maybe her father or maybe the person who is reading it out, they can tell these interesting stories around plants, around flowers to their kids, which might be their kids are not getting to know from their elders, or they can read it out somewhere. So that's how I feel. If you know about the importance of a particular flower or plant, so you will, before cutting it down or rather than thinking, oh, this is useless plant, you will use it. If you are not aware of something, you will find it always useless. So first, the awareness is required to know that which is important to you and how that could be consumed, why that should be consumed, in what limit that should be consumed. It's not that it is good that I will be eating a lot of it and then I will that will also be a detrimental effect on your health.
Do you think we should add subjects like this into our regular syllabus of school?
Yes, we should. I think I don't know how many schools have done that. During my schooling, I don't remember in curriculums we have where we get exposed to even not extracurricular activities.
Today also there.
Yeah, we have just, I think, World Environment Day. Let's go and plant some
yeah.
tree. That's how we know about Chipko movement. So it's only limited within textbooks. I think agriculture as a subject or gardening as a subject or exposing your kids to soil,
Nature.
You need to get your hand dirty. Otherwise, you won't learn. If I'll see, okay, how it is the work of a gardener. So you need to expose. I think that's the reason now we have the immune systems are becoming weak. We are not exposing our senses to all these elements. Like we say Panch Dhatu or these 5 elements at earth, fire, and these are the water. We need to expose, we need to drench in rain. We can't be always protected in raincoat because so you expose your things, your mind, your body to nature. So I think nature will give you back.
So sir, now we have a bit of 4 to 5 questions that the audience is asked because I posted a story that we're hosting you yesterday. So I will ask you those questions. Just answer it in brief.
Okay.
So the first one is, how much salt is too much salt in a food?
It depends how much salt you consume. So yeah, it depends on you. It's like as per taste.
Okay. And what's your favorite Odia cuisine?
I love all kind of pitha. So yeah.
Okay. And from where did you learn to cook?
It's a self-learning process and from fellow people around. Yeah.
One dish you really like that's not from Odisha?
One dish. I think I like Kada Prasad a lot. I think it's not a dish, it's an emotion. So I went to Amritsar and that's a holy food and I just love Kada Prasad. So it's a prasad.
Your favorite tourist destination, one in Odisha and one outside of Odisha?
In Odisha, I love Puri a lot. It's my go-to place, Puri and Konark. And other than that, outside Odisha, I love Andaman. I've been once there, so it's a very beautiful place for its beaches. So yeah.
Message for a young cook.
Keep learning. That's how you will achieve or get in your life what you want to, and be consistent.
What can we do just as a common man to preserve our food?
We need to cook, need to share with the people who are not from our community, and talk about it proudly without giving any English names or like modernizing it. Yeah.
Your favorite cricketer or footballer?
As in cricketer, like I was born in 80s, so yeah, I was like Sachin Tendulkar, like icon. And these days I don't get time to watch cricket, and so yeah, in football, yeah, obviously Ronaldo is one who like we've been admired. We used to play a lot of football during our school days. So yeah.
Your position?
Sorry?
Your position in football?
So I was used to play as a mixed player. Like I would be not as an
professional.
Not professional, but it was for fun game we used to play.
So sir, now we end the questionnaire round, and thank you so much, sir, for having this podcast with us. It was really a great pleasure having you, and what I felt is you're not a very introvert person. You're really a fun kind of person. Thank you so much, sir, for having this podcast.